Hello and welcome to Wise for Wellbeing. This is the last in our series of 5 talks designed to help you support your well-being. Today's theme is going to be gratitude, and the other themes have been self-esteem, self-talk, relationships and relaxation. Now, some of you might feel your well-being is fine and you're tuning in to learn a bit more about how to keep it that way. So that's fabulous. And there are others of you that will be looking to improve your well-being, and hopefully we can help you with that today. However, if you feel at the end of the session that you need a bit more support, we're going to be sharing some details on how to contact us at Newport Mind and how to contact Childline. So let's get cracking. My name's Amy.
And my name is Leah, and we're going to be taking you through these sessions. Wise for gratitude. So in today's session, we'll look at what is gratitude. So we'll give you a bit of a definition. We'll think about being grateful for me, so grateful for ourselves, grateful for you, so grateful for other people. We'll look at how to make it a habit, and we'll give you some practical gratitude ideas to take forward as well.
Okay, so let's have a little bit more of a look at what gratitude actually is. Basically, gratitude is being thankful. But there are lots of different things we can be thankful for. So we might be thankful about things to do with ourselves, things to do with other people. We might be grateful for things that happen to us, or we might be grateful for things in our environment. And we'll go on to talk a bit more about those in the following slides. Before we do that, I just want to share a little bit of recent research on gratitude. It has revealed that people who are able to use gratitude more in their daily lives tend to have more positive relationships, better mental health and well-being, lower stress levels, and they tend to experience better quality sleep. So hopefully, with us sharing with you a few tips and tricks around gratitude today, you might start to experience some of those benefits as well. So without further ado, let's get started.
So grateful for me then. So it can be quite tricky sometimes to feel gratitude for ourselves. However, these are some ways that you can start looking at how to be grateful for who you are. So you could try listing some positive traits. So we all have positive things within us, and it's helpful if we start looking at those. So for example, you might be a really good friend. You might be a funny person, you might be a kind person or a passionate person. All of those things are qualities that you have. So it's really positive if we can start to be grateful for those things, because I bet the people around us are already. Now, if you feel like you're struggling to come up with some of the positive traits that you have, then maybe you could look at the things that you're working on. So maybe you are quite a funny person, but you don't really show that side of you to other people. Maybe it's a good thing to be thankful for the fact that you're trying to develop that side of yourself. It's really good to be able to pat ourselves on the back for being self-aware, so understanding the things that we still need to work on. You could look at the achievements that you have as well. So that might be getting out of bed by a certain time if that's something that you struggle with. It could be that you baked a cake that you were really proud of this week. Or it could even be something like achieving a grade in your studies that you've been hoping for. Anything that you feel proud of, big or small, is an achievement. And it's really helpful if we can recognize and be grateful for those. You can also look at being grateful for the ways that you help others as well. So for example, whilst you're at home, it could be things like making a cup of tea or coffee for the person that you live with. It could be something like helping to bring the shopping in, or even something like asking someone how they're feeling and really listening to their answer, because that can be a really important thing for some people. All of these are things that we can do to help develop our gratitude for the people that we are. Now, as I said, it can be quite difficult to start sometimes being grateful for ourselves, and we will make mistakes, as with all of the techniques that we've talked about across this series. And it's really important during those times when we're making mistakes that we practice self-compassion. So it's important that we try not to criticize ourselves, because it does all take practice. something to bear in mind is, if you wouldn't say this to a friend, then don't say it to yourself. So if you feel like criticizing yourself and using some really harsh words, try and check yourself and think, would I say this to a friend if they made a mistake? And if the answer is no, then try and stop saying that to yourself as well. We can also try and turn those mistakes into learning experiences. We'll never get it right the first time, and we'll never get it right every time. However, we will learn from the times where we stumble, and that will make us better in the future.
We also need to think about the other people in our lives that we're grateful for. And when you think about who is it that I value in my life, try and think, when you come up with someone, why is it that I value that person? Is it because of the way they support me? Is it because they make me laugh? Is it because I feel really creative when I'm with them? And I love what I am when I'm with that person. And then think about how you can say thank you to that person. Will you send them a text? Would you say face to face, thanks for that cup of tea this morning? It really helped me get out of bed. Because actually when you say thank you to someone and receive the feedback from them as to how that made them feel, that can make you feel really good too, and help to build your own self-esteem. And also have a think about how can you help those important people in your life. And it might be that you making them a cup of tea is what they need. It might be that dropping them a text to see how they are is something that is helpful for them. And again, being able to do that, knowing that you're helping, is something that can really bolster and build your own self-esteem and confidence and self-worth.
Make it a habit then. So as I discussed on an earlier slide, it can be really important and really effective if we try and make all of these things that we've learned across the Wise for Wellbeing session a habit. So ingrain them in our daily lives. Now, something that is helpful in doing that is choosing a regular daily time to do these activities. So for example, with gratitude, it might be finding 2 minutes at the beginning of the day as soon as you wake up. It might be finding 2 minutes at the end of the day before you go to sleep to think about the things that you are really grateful for. It's helpful to think of the small things that we're grateful for. As much as we'd love them to, the really big positive changes that can happen for us just don't happen every day. So if we want to make this a daily practice, it can be good to look at the small things that happen for us, or the small things that we do that can help us to feel grateful. It's really important as well that we try and live in the moment. It can be tempting to ruminate over things that have happened to us in the past, positive or negative. And it can be just as tempting to try and live in the future as well. So thinking, oh, I'll be happy when I've achieved this goal, or I'll feel grateful when this thing happens for me. However, if we want to make this a regular and daily practice, trying to find things that we're grateful for in the present can benefit our overall well-being a little bit more. And if we're struggling to look for things that we're grateful for in the moment, then maybe looking at some motivational quotes from people that you respect and admire can help you. When we're lacking in inspiration a bit, we sometimes need to look for that inspiration from other people, and motivational quotes can be a good way to do that.
Great, thank you. And here are some practical ideas on how to integrate gratitude into your life. So you could try a gratitude journal. That's something I've tried. If you like writing about things, that might be a good method for you to experiment with. I tend to use just bullet points, and I find that I start with one thing and then think back over my day, and find it much easier then to start thinking of all the other things, and that tends to snowball for me. I try to do it every day, but I don't always manage it every day, although I do try to think, if I'm not writing down in the journal, I at least try to think about the things I'm grateful for that day. But as Leah mentioned, the importance of self-compassion, I try not to beat myself up about not writing in it every day, because that would just be not very helpful. You know, we're all of us imperfect, and it's okay not to manage it every day if you can't. There's also gratitude jar, which is a nice idea. You can do it as a family or just on your own yourself. You get a jar, you write on a post-it your grateful thought, and you put it in the jar. And then when you're feeling a bit low, you can pull out something that's a nice memory of a positive time you've had before. I tend to try this with my family so that we can all do it together and see what each other are grateful for, because I've found that's really nice for understanding what matters to the people in your life and building those relationships. You could also try making a gratitude tree. This is quite a nice visual one, because the idea would be that you build a trunk somewhere on a wall, if you've got some space, and then cut out some leaf shapes from paper and write down what you're grateful for each day before you then stick that onto your tree. And in the end, you should end up with a whole tree full of things, positive things that have happened to you that you're grateful for. And it's a reminder when you're feeling down of all the nice things in your life. In a similar way, a gratitude board can do the same thing, because you would have one board. It might have pictures of people you're grateful for. It might have a motivational quote on there. And then you might just pin things up, nice things that have happened to you when they do. And again, it's a visual stimulus and a reminder of nice things when you're feeling a bit low.
If you find yourself quite interested in the concept of gratitude and you'd like to learn more, then some books that we would recommend are The Little Book of Gratitude and the Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook. If you're more of an app person, then maybe you could try the apps Gratitude and Reflectly. And some TED Talks that we think are really informative on the subject are My Journey to Thank All the People Responsible for My Morning Coffee by AJ Jacobs, and Louis Schwartzberg's Nature, Beauty, Gratitude.
Now, this is the last challenge we're going to set for you in our series. We'd like you to try one of the practical gratitude ideas and notice how it makes you feel. And that might be while you're doing it or across the week. Maybe you notice that in the day, you're thinking about things you're grateful for more often. And then we'd like you to share your thoughts with us on the hashtag Wise for Wellbeing on Instagram.
And as promised at the beginning of this video, I'll share with you some information on how you can get in touch if you feel like you'd like some further support. So if you'd like to contact us at Newport Mind, you can do so by calling us on 01633 258 741. If, however, you're under the age of 25 and you feel like you'd like to access our young person services, then you can do that by emailing us at changingminds@newportmind.org. And if you're under the age of 19 and you would like to talk to a trained counsellor, then you can do so by contacting Childline on 0800 1111. And you can also access their email service and their web chat service, which is the most popular way to get in touch with Childline via their website, which is www.childline.org.uk.
And that's the end of the series from us. We hope you've enjoyed them and got something out of them. We've definitely enjoyed delivering them, and we wish you all the best for your future well-being.
Please share all of the techniques that we've shared with you, or the new ones that you've discovered throughout this series, with your friends and your family and anyone that you feel could benefit from using them. And hopefully we'll all soon be wise for well-being. Thank you.
Bye.